Hey guys, Peter Pop Art is back. I hope everybody is doing wonderful today. Today, I decided that I wanted to go over how to create a superhero. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to break this down into parts, and the first part is going to be to create the structure for the drawing, like we did with the previous lessons in the robot. Now, I'm not going to do a normal size superhero. What I'm going to do is more of a cartoony, slightly different scaled size superhero. And we're going to use, or at least what I'm going to use for an example on how to create a hero, is the character I created, which I use for a lot of the Peter Pop Art and the Peter Pop Art Agency marketing, which is a character I created called Victory. This character actually appeared in the Smithsonian Air and Space Museum magazine when they interviewed me. So I felt that that would be kind of fun. But you guys can create any superhero you want. So the first thing I'm going to do is, and I might have to adjust this as I go along, um, is I'm going to create a shape for the head, and I'm going to draw a line going down. Now that is my gesture line. I usually use this line a lot because this line here gives me everything I need to know for my drawing. Now, I'm going to make this a kid version of the character. So, what I'm going to do is rough in the rib cage. And you'll notice the head is basically the same size as the rib cage. Now, remember, I said I might need to adjust this as I go along. All right. So make sure you give yourself a lot of room when you draw and draw lightly because all these lines will end up getting pretty much erased as we move forward. So there is our shape for our neck, very similar to everything we did before. Here's going to be the shape for the spine. Excuse me. And here's the shape for our hips. Now what I'm going to do is adjust it now, scale it, kind of just move him up a little bit. This way I have a little bit more room. And I'm going to draw one shape for the leg over here. And one shape for the leg over here. And remember, anything and everything could change at any point. All right. Now, the way I kind of have this set up is the legs are about the length of from this point here to about this point here, from the top of the rib cage to the top of the hips. And then over here, I'm going to have the shin and kind of a big foot, just because I think it's kind of fun. And then over here, and yet again, kind of a big foot. All right. Now, our character's arm will come down to about the rib cage. And then his forearm, I'm going to make it a little bit bigger, will come down to about the center of the thigh, which is pretty accurate, but I'm going to give him slightly oversized hands. And the arm, the forearm, yet again a little bit bigger, yet again back down to about the middle of the thigh, and slightly oversized hands. Now, I want you guys to pause if you need to, because I know I'm moving quick. All right. And then when you have caught up, push play again. All right. So now I'm assuming that you guys are caught up. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start connecting the dots. And by what that means is I'm going to add in the areas that have gaps. All right. And so I'm adding in the stomach and the side where it connects to the hip. And what I'm also going to do is start laying out where some things go. So for my purposes, I'm going to add a layer, but yet again, you guys just draw lightly. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with our character's head. Now, this character, all right, has a mask and his hair flows through. All right, so that's just so you guys know. I'm going to put halfway in the middle-ish the eyes. Up higher, the character's nose. These are not real proportions, by the way. These are just like cute cartoony proportions. And then a little bit above the middle where the character's mouth is going to go. In between the ears and the mouth. Now, normally it's in between the eyes and the mouth, but normally it's in between the eyes and the nose. You would put the ears, but I'm going to put it in between the ears and the mouth. So this guy's going to have some big ears. And over here, they'll be peeking out as well. All right, I'm going to adjust the neck a little bit to make it a little bit more centered. And what I'm also going to do is start adding hair from kind of this area over here of the head, because the eyes are going to go here and the hair is going to be set up right up here. And you'll notice I'm doing it in clumps. So I'm laying out larger sections first before I go into any sort of detail. And this is still our rough stage. So the character has a part in his hair and it flows to one side and it carries over here. And then the rest of it you don't really see because of the character's mask. And now over here, I'm going to start roughing in his eyes. Now you can't see the character's pupils because he's got that superhero mask. But what we're going to do is we're going to give him intense eyes. And the eyes will be dropped in like this. And then we're going to give him eyebrows, which will go over. And now I'm going to give him a little bit of a shape to the head on the side. Your head, when you look at somebody from a 3/4 view, which is not dead on and it's not from the profile, has a little dip over here. And then it pops out where the cheeks are. And then we're going to give him big cheekbones and kind of a little bit of a smaller chin that comes in. And then we're going to continue with a line over here and carry the jaw over. Now his nose, which we marked over here, is where it roughly goes, but I'm going to tilt the line, draw a nostril, and then put a little shadow over here showing that that's where his other nostril would be. And then curve it up, and then that's where it leads into the eyebrow. And now remember, he's got intense eyes, and we're just roughing everything right now. We're going to give him a serious look on one side of his face and kind of a half smile smirk on the other side. And I'm going to have it go beyond the eye, but normally in reality it would not. And now I'm going to give an indication for his lower lip that leads over his chin. I'm going to do a little detail on the ears. Now remember, your ears are designed for catching sound. So if you need any help with this part, just look in the mirror and draw your own ears. And then we're going to draw this part of the head going up. Now, we're not going to add much costume. We're not going to add hardly any costume today. We're just working on the structure and the rough drawing. Here's the character's chest muscles. We're going to give a light indication of it going across. Those would be his pecs. A little bit of his collarbone, his clavicle. And a little indication right down the middle. Now remember, this guy is a kid, so we're not making him super powerful looking. Okay, more like, a kid that goes and plays baseball or does a lot of swimming. Now the shape for the shoulder looks kind of like a teardrop. The shape for the bicep would go like this. Kind of like an oval, not even an oval, kind of like a stretched out O. And then a little indication for the back of his arm where the tricep would be. And we're going to do the same thing over here, but it's at a different angle. So you got to pay attention to how I'm doing this, because the shapes are the same, but they look different from different points of view. Now, we've got his chest roughed in. I'm going to give him a little bit of meat on his back in case he ever has to pull himself up onto a tree to save a kitten. And we're going to give him a little bit of a tummy. And we're going to go down. All right, and now what we're going to do is we're going to go back and focus on the arms. We're going to give him a little bit of a meaty arm. All right. And it's kind of like this shape, but stretched out. Same thing again, a little bit of a meaty arm. And now, let's focus on his fists. Drawing hands is very, very difficult. So, you guys do the absolute best you can. I will try to talk you through my process for doing it. But a lot of this I kind of do on autopilot. So what I'm going to do is, over here, we're going to draw the back of his hand. So we're going to give it almost like a ball/box shape. And then we're going to give a little indication for his thumb. And then one knuckle sticking out a little bit more, and then some little V's to show his knuckles. And I'm going to adjust this shape over here, and I'm going to use my eraser and just kind of clean that up. And clean up this part over here. Now for this hand, this one will be a little bit tougher. We're going to draw it from the side. So here is where his thumb will go. And we're going to take this oval-ish shape and create our first knuckle and kind of start sculpting in. And by sculpting means we're going to have to start creating these shapes. And then here's our second knuckle. And that's pretty much all we would see from this angle is really just two knuckles. But those are the first two fingers and his thumb. And his fingers are kind of rolled in on each other. Now, we're going to draw his groin. And it's going to look like he's wearing, just boxer shorts at this point. Thin legs, kind of going down almost like little curved lines. And then over here, we're going to have a little bump over here, and that is part of the muscle in his leg. It's part of the quadricep, the 4 different heads, 4 different muscles, big muscle groups within the leg. And then over here, we're going to have a little bit of an indication for his hip, and we're going to go out a little bit and then come right back in for his thigh. This over here is his kneecap. This is just a curve with a line on the outside. A line and a curve. And then his calf muscle. Let's make those big, kind of like we did with his forearms. All right. Now we're going to go on to this leg. And for this, we're just going to give a little indication of the muscle, and a little indication of the muscle, and a little indication over here for where the kneecap goes. And we're pretty much done for that at this point. Nice big calf, and his shin. Now, our character has ankles because you need ankles. So those will look like little spears. All right. And then his big boot, which I'm going to curve at the bottom just a bit. Boom. So it looks kind of like the letter D tipped on its side. And then over here for the side of the foot, we're going to have it go a little bit up and then connect. And then the heel. So this almost looks like the number 8, okay, where it's narrower over here and wider down here, and then our heel. So what I'm going to do now also is I'm going to scale him a little bit smaller yet again. This way we can put him on something. I'm going to get rid of the under drawing. See? Here, I'm going to adjust the underdrawing as well. easy to do that. Okay. And I'm going to adjust this foot just a hair. And we'll go in and really render that or draw it out later. Now I'm going to put him somewhere where he can look impressive, but we'll worry about that later. But here's his basic shadow. All right. And I'm also going to give him a belt and kind of hard line his hair a little bit more. Define his eyes a little bit. And give him a little bit of a trap muscle over here. Those little V's that you see on people's shoulders to make them look a little bit stronger. All right. And now this is where we're going to pause and stop this video and let you guys catch up to where this is. Excuse me. Because for the next video, we're going to add his costume in pencil. And then what we're going to do is we're going to keep progressing this one drawing of this character. Now remember, this is my character, but you are more than happy. I'm more than happy to have you guys draw this one or create your own. Now remember, guys, if you want, you can share the videos. You can share your drawings on Instagram with your parents' permission and use the hashtag PeterPopArt or the hashtag PeterPopArtAgency. And if you want to go check out some fun art, you can go to peterpopart.com or peterpopartagency.com. But do not go to those links or post anything on social media without your parents' permission. Everybody, I look forward to seeing what you guys have done. I cannot wait to get back and do another clip with you guys and keep showing you the progression of this. I hope everybody has been enjoying their homeschooling or their distance learning, I should say, and is safe and healthy and happy and doing all their schoolwork and listening to their parents and doing everything they're supposed to do. I look forward to seeing everybody real soon. Stay safe, everybody. Enjoy your day.